Hamel, you made it. I was running some errands and I got stuck in traffic. Sorry for the wait. I had to go to Canadian Tire. This stream is brought to you by Canadian Tire. You just got in? Man. A puppy? This puppy is taking at least 3 hours out of my day. Oh, I just got sandpaper and some mineral spirits. The usual. Asus, how are you doing? You're second, but I'm late today. I just got what I need. I needed to get wet sand, some wet sandpaper, and I'm all out of mineral spirits, so I got a new thing of mineral spirits. So that's but I needed to get the wet sand solvable. Yeah. Professional grade. Do not drink it. Gentle yet effective. Yeah. Just a second. I'm also running the CNC machine. I just started cutting a body I glued up last night. So it'll be done in about half an hour, so you guys can see that. Right now you can just hear, I didn't have time to set up the camera on the CNC. I literally got in, set the CNC up to cut, took Emmett for a walk, and just, yeah. Whew. I had to bring a plumber in this morning as well. So many things. Hectic day today. But good news, my pipes are unplugged now. Yeah, I'm cutting a body. I'll be carving necks and cutting bodies. Sorry for eating on stream. It's very rude. So, Rage Guitars is coming up on Friday. We're going to do 2 days of streaming. So they're going to be long streams. We're basically going to do a 24-hour stream, but we're going to space it over 2 days. So it'll probably be about 10 to 12-hour streams, maybe less, we'll see. So Rage is coming up here. We're going to build a telly I don't know if we'll get it done, but we're going to do all the steps. It's kind of like, after seeing Manny's 24-hour stream, it's true. Like, you can build a guitar in 24 hours, but you can't finish it. So we'll see how far we can get. Rage is bringing up a bunch of stuff. Usually I'm just more prepared today, but today I decided I had every excuse not to stream, but I streamed anyway. So yeah, this weekend, Friday and Saturday, me and Rage are just going to stream all day. So if you guys need to accumulate more Hanks, it'll be a great way to do that. You guys will see in a second. Well, not a second. I managed to position, you'll see how I positioned it. It was kind of difficult to get the, that there was two kind of like holes in the top of that top, and I couldn't cover them up. So I had to arrange them so they're kind of in the middle section right here. So it'll still work. If you have the body cut and neck fretted, no finish. You can oil a guitar. Like what I would do to put finish on a guitar is I would just use Osmo oil and just wipe it down really well. That's what I would do. You can put finish. Osmo oil is probably the fastest because you can kind of buff it because it's a wax finish. It just needs time to cure, but if I wanted to do a build in 24 hours, that's what I would do. Immersive, how are you doing? Good news, I got more mineral spirits. I was out of mineral spirits. It was outrageous. So, let me just clean this up. What am I going to do without my mineral spirits? You got your webcams hooked up. Workbench is good to go. Nice. You want a better one. What kind of... You know what's really funny? Will kept telling me, he's like, oh, you should... I think my camera is lying around somewhere in the shop. I got this camera so I could take nice pictures of guitars and stuff. And it's covered in... The bag is covered in dust, and I just thought it was like, you know, just some random old digital camera, right? And he finally dusted it off the other day and pulled it out, and I checked out what it is, and it's a Fujifilm X-T1, which is an older model, but it's like a really, really good camera that you can run video out on, and it's been sitting here the whole time. And he was just like, oh man, I have a really good camera somewhere in the shop here. And I didn't realize till now. I was like, I could have been really using that camera this whole time. But I'm going to get that one set up soon. But you gotta just work with what you got for now. Like I said, my main camera is still my iPhone, which I like because it just adjusts the lighting and it looks good. And it's easy, and my iPhone can also be a Wi-Fi camera, so I can move that around the shop if I have to. So I have that. I got Will's camera, and then I have just a bunch of Logitech cameras. But my computer only has 3 USB ports, so if I plug the mic in, I only have 2 cameras anyway. A workbench. Oh, you're talking about workbench. Let me see. Just build your own. Hey, DeLongest, how are you doing? Those aren't bad. Like, those will do. We had similar ones here in the shop. Yeah. You need to make something smaller, yeah. Okay. So, I'll just give you updates on the CNC. Yeah, I got to put my clamps away. I'm late and my bench is a mess, but the CNC is cutting a body. So in about half an hour, you can see one of my bodies fresh off the CNC. That's not bad. You gotta work with what you got. But at least you have a place you can go cut things. Like, because at the end of the day, immersive, once you get everything cut out, like the majority of guitar stuff is just handwork anyway. Mostly what I do is just sand by hand. I wish I could show you the longest. I was late. I was running errands today. I had to pick up sandpaper. Unfortunately, the cheapest, you're still looking at thousands for a CNC regardless. I think the cheapest CNC you can get, if you build it yourself, you're still looking at like 2,000 to 3,000 for everything. Entry level is still a couple grand. If you want something big enough to cut guitars, you can get smaller desktop ones, but they're not as good. Hey, Guybeck, how are you doing today? There are ways. You're getting that's not bad. That work bee, I was looking at those work bees. 2,000 isn't bad. Is that 2,000 Canadian or 2,000 US? That is pretty cheap, and you can always upgrade it. It's the gantry that's the problem, you know? Just having a solid gantry. USD, yeah, so entry level at least 2,000 US. But here's the thing. If you do get a CNC that's just underpowered, but you can as long as you can cut templates. So maybe your CNC isn't big and powerful enough or deep enough to cut wood, but if it can cut MDF templates the size that you need, then you're set. Then you can do your own shapes and everything. Oh, another thing you can get, what are those hand router CNCs that adjust? What are those called? Have you seen those? So if you don't have much space, you can get a router, but it adjusts as you go around. And so what are those things called? That's what you should look into. Those things are awesome. They read the QR codes. There is a CNC router. I don't know what it's called. They're pricey, but it will adjust. You just have to get it close, like you're watching the screen there. What are they? I'm serious. If you don't have much space, if you don't have space for a CNC, just get one of those. And they work exactly like a CNC machine. You just don't need a bed. Somebody look it up. Somebody look it up. Yeah, so to get a good CNC, yeah, you can always get people to make templates for you. You can outsource those things. If you need templates, you can get someone to make it. Again, limited space. If you just have a router, it doesn't actually save you time. Like routing out this body is going to take about an hour. I could probably do it just as quick by hand, but I can just set this up and walk away. Just have to figure out the neck pocket. Yeah, you're probably just going to have to trace that. Just do what Manny does. Just clamp a couple pieces of wood on it from the neck. The Shaper. That's it. Asus, I'm throwing you some hanks for that. Asus wins. It's called a Shaper. Check out this thing. I know a guy who got one of these. He says it works great. There you go, Aces. 150 hanks for your trouble there. They're not Fender spec. Hey, how do you get hanks? By being useful, Jack. By being a useful mammal. That's how you get hanks. Asus, you're... Whoa, immersive. You guys are both rolling in the hanks. Yeah. Rolling in the hanks. Okay. You had too many hanks, you gave them away to prove a point. That's the thing. Jack is despite Jack and some of the things he says, he's a man of principle. You cannot buy Jack. You cannot buy him. You cannot buy him off. He's a principled man. If Jack ever betrays me, it'll be because he wants to, not because somebody paid him. And that's how I know if he ever does betray me, I know I've deserved it. No gambling on my channel. There's no swearing, no drinking, no gambling. This is a Puritan channel. No, Jack. You want that? You can go onto someone else's channel. This is for the children. Yeah. You can all just crack open your bottles of birch beer or ginger beer. You ever think about making a ukulele or a cigar box guitar, Aces? Okay. We are 19 minutes into the stream and I just finished up cleaning my work area. That's how I roll today. Don't you tell me how to party. Okay. Finally. It's clean. Hey JC, how are you doing? Oh, I gotta check that noise. Okay. It's just cutting the electronics cavity right now. Today, I'm pore filling. So I tried to do epoxy pore fill and was unimpressed. It didn't work as well as I wanted it to. So now I have to sand it all back and do it again. Yeah, maybe I can get something done. How are you doing, Karen? So for those just joining, I can get things done. I got tons of things to do. I got lots of things to do. I'm going to be pore filling today. And I'm going to be doing the old school method. A 5-gallon bucket guitar. Nice. Oh man. Why is Jack such a divisive figure? Look, here's the thing. Oh, nice. Listen, it's a fine burn pile there, Hemel. You have to learn to forgive Jack. You forgive Jack and get on with your life. That's how all of us have learned to live with Jack. Once you forgive him and move on, it'll get much easier. You just hit 100K. I'm going to have a new redemption soon. I'm working on some things. I'm so busy. But Bumstead, how are you doing? Just for the fun of it. If you go onto Jack's stream, nice. You just want to see the world burn. If you go onto Jack's stream, you'll notice that he always has a black eye or a bruise or a cut lip from his consistent fighting that he does as he just like goes out and gets groceries and stuff. Jack has a 93% fighting rate when he goes out in public. 93% of the time he comes home having got into a physical confrontation. That's dedication right there. So, Jack's like that guy in the bar who's just always looking to start something for nothing. He'll just like find some sort of characteristic to get angry about, like somebody's neck being too long. And you'll be like, hey, long neck, what are you doing in my face? Hey, Tobolo, Tobolo, how are you doing today? It's not the most inaccurate. So, super long stream this Friday. You finished the OM build today. Nice. Just need to do a final setup after a couple weeks. Congratulations, Babumstead. Can we get a shout out to Babumstead here? If you guys aren't following Babumstead, you got to see his the acoustic guitar he made for his daughter. All maple, all purple, all Babumstead. Thank you, Karen. So, it's so beautiful. Do you have any pictures yet, Babumstead? So you guys, like Jack, will get to troll me for 2 days straight this weekend. Friday and Saturday, I'll be doing extra long streams all day. Just partying. And nobody can tell me how to party. Let me just check. I gotta check that CNC machine. It's doing the body cut right now. We're getting close. soon because I didn't have enough work. Yeah, go check out Jack Frost. If you guys want to fight with someone, I know some of you, like, you get kind of bored on my channel because they're like, there's no action, there's no controversy, you know? Where do I rustle my jimmies? That's what a lot of you are saying. It's like, I really like to rustle jimmies, and I can't seem to rustle Hank's jimmies, which I'm sure is something that many of you think about constantly. But Jack will indulge you. You want to rustle some jimmies? You go to Jack Frost's channel while he's striking hot iron with a hammer, and he will oblige you. So I highly recommend that. Stay out of my stream. Even though it's a public stream, you're not allowed. He'll be like, you can go now. As soon as he sees a viewer pop in, he's just like, there's the door. If you don't leave, I'll ban you. It's a very strange stream, but highly enjoyable. Already am. Already am famous. I gotta ban this guy. Why can't I ban this guy? There we go. There we go. Yeah, pretty much, I just do, well, I do other things, but I pretty much just stream guitar making. I do other woodworking and stuff, but right now I'm just all on guitar building. My entire existence is about guitar building. I'm trying to launch my brand this month, within the next month or two, in the next 30 days, I'm going to officially announce the Hank Budd brand, guitar brand. So I pretty much, those who've seen it, you guys watched the Hank Budd Guitar Company being formed right before your eyes. Many of you didn't want to see it, but none of you can forget it. This is where it happened. Oh, that reminds me, I figured out my headstock logo. Let me show you my headstock logo. My uke passion. I'm retiring from ukuleles with my final ukulele giveaway that Jack does not care about. Yeah, well, that's the thing I realize. Everything's taken me a really long time, but I'm lucky that I can do my own artwork. Luckily, I used to be a professional illustrator, among other things. So it's just time, but it hasn't cost me any money, which is really good. I've been building my own website, e-commerce stuff. I've been mostly to keep Jack from turning it into a dildo site. But I got tons of merch. You guys are about to see. Hopefully this week the Hank apparel is launched. It's not just merch. It's a whole line of apparel and lifestyle accessories. Yeah, I know what that's like, immersive. It definitely is fickle. You built a table? Nice. What kind of wood did you use, Tobolo? I like using a lot of walnut. Yeah. Well, when Jack is here. Okay, let me get this. Oh, why is it so big? Here, let me show you. Actually, grabbed the wrong thing. Stupid OBS. Give me a second. It made it giant. Now I have to make it smaller. It was old wood. Nice, I'll check that out. Okay, here it is, everybody. There it is. That's what my my logo on there. Yeah, so that is actually, Jack, you might appreciate this. That's an old brand, like cattle branding font. So that's, I think it goes well with the brand. It's literally cattle branding. Kind of comic book style and colorful. I'll send you that, Karen. I found a place. Immersive, I found a Canadian company that does custom water slide decals. I'm going to send them some stuff probably tonight. I'll let you know how it goes. You know what? Eventually, I think I would like to just burn it into my Big River guitars. I think I might just get a brand and burn that in. I think that would look really good. Right now I'm going to do water slide decals, but I will get a custom brand ordered and just see how that looks, burning that into the wood. Yes, this is my guitar shop right here, Tovolo. That's Emmett right there, and this is the shop. There's the gallery room. So I work in this shop with a few other luthiers. There's the computer. Behind that, the CNC machine is just cutting a body. I don't know if you can really see it. Oh, it's just cutting the outline now. So this is my shop. I work with a luthier named Meredith Coloma. You can look her up if anybody's interested in who I work with. It's Meredith Coloma. Yeah, I found it's not too bad. It's like $20 a sheet, $25 a sheet, but they'll do, if you want silver and gold, they'll do that. They're like a custom model shop, but they are Canadian. They're based in rural Ontario, so I'll try them out. So you can get a custom brand. You can get it milled out of brass. There's some guys in Alaska that do it. That's the closest one I could find, is they'll mill your brand out of brass, and then you just put it onto like an iron and burn it. I know Karen will appreciate that. You have one for your logo, but you can't get it hot enough. You need a forge. Yeah, that's the problem with those things, Karen, that we found, was we could never get it hot enough. So what we did was just use a torch, and we would use like a torch to heat it up and then brand it, and that's what worked the best. We found that the rods never quite worked. Yes, you can check out my website. Is hankbudguitars.com. hankbudguitars.com. All my information should be in the about section of my on my Twitch page as well. I'm getting the website more detailed. Right now, it was just to get something up so that Jack wouldn't troll me. It's a decent site, but I'm getting it more like an e-commerce site. Right now, it's not really set up for selling things right now. The temperature isn't consistent. Yeah, it's kind of tricky with those. Okay. The body is being cut out. I just had to check. It's all good. Everything's getting cut out. We'll get to see it. I keep saying in half an hour. So far, that program is still running. We're 40 minutes in. 40 minutes in. So that program takes about an hour to run. Anyway, if you guys want to, if you want to see some of my work, check out my Instagram page. Has all the stuff that I've done recently. I just slowed it down a little bit. If I'm in Vancouver, Canada. So, as soon as I get this sanded down, I can start pour filling. So, you guys are going to see. Some of you might have already seen it. I've done it once before. Actually, I've done it a few times. But it's the old school method for pour filling. I'm going to use egg whites. I mixed up some egg whites. No Aqua Coat, no Timbermate pour filler for me. Just free range, because it has to be free range eggs. You take the egg white, and then you mix it up. Why are they messaging me? You mix it up. You kind of like whip it till you get a foam. Then you put it in the fridge, and then you leave it overnight to kind of separate, and then you pour out what's under the foam. That's what you use. Yeah, it's way better. The free range. You need the free range proteins. Karen's going to drink some egg whites, a dozen egg whites, and then do some powerlifting. Yeah, I'm going to meringue my guitar. Basically, yeah, that's what you do. It works really well, but it only lasts about a week. You have to keep it in the fridge, and it does go bad. So there's no way to actually turn it into a product. I know, I just imagine, that's exactly what I imagined, Karen. Protein, but it is the protein that does it. That's why it's good. The protein will harden. So here, I'll show you the whole. You're eating eggs right now? Nice. Save the egg whites. I'll show you the process, but basically what happens is it reacts like a regular pore filler. You just brush it on, you let it dry, then you leave it for a bit, you reactivate it with water, and then you wet sand. As you sand, it turns into kind of a goo, but the dust mixes with it and then goes into the pores, and then you get a better color matching, like pore matching. And that's how they used to pore fill before modern products. So I tried this redwood here is Padauk wood. It is very porous, very, very deep pores. And I tried to pore fill with epoxy, and it was just a little too thick, and I tried to scrape it into the pores, didn't quite get what I wanted. So then I had to sand it all back, and I got to do it again. So this time I'm going back to the tried and true method of egg whites, because I've done that before on bodies and necks, and it works really well. Also, I kind of like the archaic methods. A thing they recommend, aqua coat is what is usually recommended, but that stuff's like $50 a can, whereas I can get a dozen eggs for way cheaper. So hard boiled with ramen, just eating your ramen, watching your favorite anime. So Immersive, I've noticed, I was lurking on a few of your streams. You've been playing a lot of retro games. I tuned into a little bit of your X-Wing the other night. Just a little trip down memory lane. Those Lucasfilm games, or LucasArts games from that era, are some of my favorites. Speaking Golden era, yeah. They were just good games. Even their non Star Wars titles were all good, like Sam and Max and Maniac Mansion and all that was all good. I really liked Monkey Island. Monkey Island was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. It was so funny to me. Yeah, you gotta get back into building. You can always play those games. Time to get back into guitars. I haven't played. The only time I play games is at Christmas. When I take my Christmas break, that's the only time I allow myself to play games. And I'm like, I don't go into the shop. I'm like, everyone leave me alone. I'm playing my game. But I don't stream it because it'll just confuse and anger people. They're like, Hank, what are you, a retro gaming streamer now? We want to see sanding. So it's sanding or nothing. Hey, Tobolo, thank you for that follow. But I gotta get this guitar done this month. So I still have a couple weeks. Hot tub wet sanding retro game stream. That's going. So Rage is coming up on Friday. Oh yeah, at the time, Full Throttle seemed really, really cool. But now looking back on it, it was kind of gimmicky. Like, the adventure game stuff worked and the animation was, like the 2D animation, the pixel animation was really good. The 3D animation is terrible. Yeah, I don't think that one, the soundtrack is terrible. Very disappointing soundtrack. Animation's really good though. It didn't stand the test of time. That was in a transitionary period when they were like, oh, we have to do 3D, you know? Anyway, Rage is coming up on Friday. He said he doesn't want to go into the hot tub. I don't think he'll have a choice. We'll see. Nobody tells me they're not going into the hot tub. Nobody. Anyway, if I can get this pour filled, I can just be spraying it for the next few days. Let me just check the CNC again. All right. We are an inch down. 0.7 inches to go. Yeah, exactly. That's a good model there, Immersive. What's your question, Immersive? I just play Guitar Simulator now. That's the only game I play. My life is like a really hard adventure game right now. Or maybe more of like an RPG. A really hard RPG where it's like I have to go around and get materials, upgrade my skills. It's like a really elaborate game. I've created this Hank Budd character. This Hank Budd character has to win the game. You want paint body a solid color, but have a mixed matte satin. Just put the gloss on top and you're fine. You can pour fill with the matte and then gloss over top of it. If the gloss is thick enough and you don't sand through, you should be fine. Because it's all clear, right? So sometimes the matte used to be cheaper than the gloss, so I would pour fill with the matte and then put the gloss over top because it's all just clear, right? Now, because this top I sprayed it with matte and I'm just going clear coat over it. I'm not much of a guitar player, actually. Only the sound of sanding today. Like Mask It Off. You want the matte to border up against the gloss. Oh, I know what you mean. So you have like a gloss top and a satin body. Yeah, just Mask It Off. I've seen people do that. where they just have the gloss top. It works. I was thinking about doing that with this one, but I should have pour filled. I was just going to do a light spray of matte on here, and it didn't quite work out. But if you make a mistake, or it wasn't necessarily a mistake, it's just like I want it to look better than it is, you can always just sand it back. Tovolo, do you play guitar? Nothing but the sweet sound of sanding. I guess it depends on how you buff it. Because you can get, like, with gloss, like you can make gloss have a satin look. You just don't buff it to as high of a grit. So, after, that's too bad. I don't really play guitar much myself. Immersive is a far better guitar player than me. I never even considered the guitar until I started building them. Still a lot of people who play guitar. Yeah, I'm one of those players. I know 3 chords, and I milk those 3 chords. Okay, 20 minutes. Everybody, 20 minutes, and that cut will be done. I'm interested to see. I still have to do the bevel on it. I got a dog here. He can't play guitar, but maybe he could if I built him one. Oh, I didn't do anything last week. I needed time. And then this week, Rage is going to be here on Saturday. So we might do the podcast. Saturday with Rage here. While we're streaming, we might just do like shut it down and then do a podcast thing with Rage and maybe get Manny in here or something. But it's going to be a weekend of streaming. One of the reasons I had the opportunity to play guitar as a kid. My dad taught music. He's a very good player. My dad was teaching everyone to play guitar but me. All my friends were taking guitar lessons from my dad. I never touched a guitar. I was more interested in visual art. I was an artist. I was always drawing. So I liked music, but my focus was drawing. And I think that's people who get good at things, they have a drive to do it, you know? You have a desire, like you can't put it down. Like when somebody picks up a guitar, like when some kid picks up a guitar and they're like, yes, I want to play guitar. Like they can't put it down. You can't force them to get good at it. They'll just keep playing and figuring it out. Though lessons are good, but without the motivation, all the lessons in the world aren't going to help you. I gotta check that CNC. Can you guys hear that, the sound in there? All right. About 2 more passes. So my hey Rhino, how are you doing? The pink guitar is gone. The pink guitar is gone. I'm sorry, but there will be more pink guitars. So Rhino, I got Rage Guitars coming up this weekend, and he's a violin maker. So he's going to help me make that tailpiece for your guitar. Then it should be pretty much done soon. And then Rhino will get his baritone. Yes, I was asking him about what the chord, like the chord you use to like wrap it around the tailpiece, because I want to make it like that. And I was just going to use leather, but then he was like, no, don't do that. That'll snap. Use tail gut is what it's called. I ordered a tail gut. I'll show you what it looks like. Where is it? Where's my tail gut? There it is. But it was too short. So this is the tail gut. So I'm going to have to order a longer one. This is a tail gut for like a violin. And it wraps around. Where is it? I got, where is it? Trying to find all the things I ordered. Where is it? I ordered, oh, I'll show you something. I ordered some really fine drill bits. These are, what size are these? I needed these for drilling the string holes in the tailpiece so that you can just tie a knot at the end. But I had to special order these because the baritone ukulele strings are so thin. Look at here. Look at the size of these drill bits I ordered so that they would be the same, the holes would be the same diameter as the strings. So don't worry, Rhino. I had to order some specialized equipment for this endeavor. I don't know why she would do that to you. You don't deserve that, Jack. You don't deserve to have your PC turned off without your consent. You'll see, it'll make sense, Rhino. You'll see what I'm doing and it's going to make sense. But it was kind of good it took as long as it did, because I've worked it out a lot better than my initial plan. I had the right idea, but the execution is going to be a lot better now. It's going to work well. I chatted with Rage. It's going to be good. I have it all figured out in my big brain. My big brain, Henry, figured it out. So don't worry. Oh. Oh, shit. Why did it suddenly drop that far? Oh. What the heck? Stop. What the heck? Well, that's weird. Give me a second. The CNC, the Z-axis just dropped for no reason. Give me 1 second. The body's okay, but it was a close one. This is so weird. This is so weird. My Z-axis dropped right at the end. It finished cutting it out, then it dropped and started trying to cut it deeper, which is really weird. That's not the first time that's happened. I don't know why it happened, but that's not a big deal because I beveled the edge right there, so it dropped in the perfect spot where it's not ruined. But oh, my next stream is on Friday, Tobolo. Friday and Saturday I'm going to be streaming all day. So if you want to catch me again, that's where I'll be. But it's good chatting with you. You have a good rest of your day. All day. I don't know. It's whenever Rage gets up here. We don't really have a set schedule, but we'll be working. We'll be streaming. Okay, Tobolo. Well, you have a good night. I think we'll probably start around 9 or 10 Pacific time, which will be noon, probably around noon your time. And then we'll probably go till, well, we'll see. Huh, that was a close one. That was really annoying. I do not know what's going on with that thing or why it keeps dropping the Z-axis. I'm going to have to check my program. I don't think, let me double check my program. okay. It was my mistake. I put a 9 instead of a 7. It was my mistake. That's what happens when you rush things. It's okay. It's okay. But I knew I had a feeling. It's like, this is why I hate to rush or to work on stuff when I'm tired. That's when mistakes happen. Luckily, I was spared. It didn't ruin it because my bevel is going to go right there. But that was a close one. That would have sucked to lose this body. So it's okay. Anyway, let me throw some mineral spirits on it so you guys can see it. It's all good. We survived. Too much going on. Everything is fine. Yeah, everything's fine, but that was a close call. Just didn't double check a number I inputted, and almost disaster. Almost a disaster. So gotta be more careful and double check things. But let's throw some mineral spirits on the owl. You're doing a network things, and my website goes back to an interesting company I did not expect. Yeah, which one's that? Is it one Jack set up? Akame? I don't know the connection there, Asus. Let's throw some mineral spirits. I got a new bottle of mineral spirits here. Blame it on Frosty. You see what Jack did? Gotta be more careful. Gotta be more careful. It was literally, I inputted that much more distance into it and could have been a disaster. Anyway, I get to crack a new bottle. New bottle of mineral spirits, everybody. How does this work? Okay. It's a Is that who's hosting me? Like, I'm just hosted on Squarespace, so I have no idea who provides me with anything. Okay. There is the body. There we go. That's just wait till it gets sanded up and oiled, but yeah, that looks pretty interesting. It's going to look pretty nice. Ooh, that is an interesting looking body. Once I bevel it, it'll have a flamed maple outline on it. And then it's going to have, it is an owl. It totally is. It'll have those colors with it. Very, very organic kind of colors. This is, I can also show you what the back looks like. There's a little bit of a thing there that I'm going to have to fill. That's not a huge deal. There's a bit of, I knew that was going to be there. That can be filled. That's not a huge deal because it's going to get beveled on the edge anyway. So there might just be a little black strip right there. And there's a little something on the bottom there. But for the most part, everything looks good. It will hoot. Well, they say hooting is the gateway to hollering. That's a meme I got the other day. Anyway, so it's going to have nice black walnut. Nice black walnut. So you'll see once it's got some nice figure on there. That kind of looks like an owl as well. A wing or something right there. So I haven't cut out the neck yet, but I'll show you. Whew, I dodged a bullet there. I dodged a bullet for sure. That was a really stupid mistake. Let me, and then, oh, here we go. I just want to see how all the hardware fits together. So for Telecasters, if you don't want to do a pick guard, you can either direct mount your neck pickup or you can do a ring. I like these rings. I think they make it look classy. Let's see. Ooh, that works out really well. So here was one of those instances where it's like I had this weird figure in the wood right here, right? And I could not hide it. I could not move the piece that far to get the bridge to cover. I couldn't move it down enough for that to cover. So in woodworking, they say it's like if you cannot cover something up, you make it the focal point. And so this is a principle of woodworking, everyone. If you can't cover it up, you make it the focal point. So now the focal point is that weird V, but now it's not covered up by anything. So like you can see the owl in there. Strictly walnut farming. They used to fuse white walnut and black walnut together. Yes. And that's why I think that would explain some of the weird woods that you see in sometimes, that it was grafted. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know you could graft a walnut like that. But that's interesting. I know they do that with fruit trees. I didn't know they did it with nut trees as well, but it makes sense. I saw this apple tree that had all the apples. Yeah, send me a picture. That's interesting. You can just graft wood together. Well, I think that the reason the black walnut has better root systems is because it's indigenous to this region, whereas the white walnut or the English walnut has better nuts, but the black walnut is indigenous, so it grows better here. I think that that's one of the things. So what's interesting, this top is Turkish walnut, which is the same species as English walnut, but this was actually from Turkey. And the figure on it is very different. For some reason, the Turkish walnut has some very different figure than the English walnut. But anyway, I have a lot of work to do on this thing, but it most of the things have been done now. So I'm going. Oops. I'm going to relic all this hardware. But and then I'm going to make Cocobolo knobs for it. Let me see. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, okay. Oh, that is really interesting. Oh, that's crazy looking. Oh, they literally grafted it on the top. That's neat, because usually it's like they just graft the branches, but that one is like they literally just grafted a tree on top of it. That's crazy. There, you can see it here. I'll just put it on screen here so everyone can see it. It's literally grafted right on there. Yeah. Weird. But it makes sense. Anyway, while we're looking at things, let's check out. I want to check out Babumstead's guitar while we're in the Discord. Let's swing over and check out Babumstead's. Ooh, that looks really nice. Very nice. That's 11 weeks later. That's how long it takes. Here, I'll load this one up as well. Let me see here. There we go. There's Babumstead's maple acoustic, his OM. With the flamed maple on there. Looks good. Looks really good. It is pretty. It'll settle down. It'll take a week or two to settle. Yeah, he did really well. Good job, Babumstead, if you're still there. Yeah, acoustic guitars are very, very labor intensive. Um, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing more electrics just to get things done. But even then, sometimes things don't get done properly. But I'm still waiting for my bridge on this one. It has a good sound. Oh, nice. Yeah, check out Babumstead if you guys want to see who built that guitar. What's the next project there, Babumstead, now that you're done the acoustic? What's next? I'm going to be extra careful working on this thing. No more mistakes. No more mistakes. I was really lucky on this one. Luckily, I bevel the end so it doesn't. And this is where I do the deep bevel as well. So it's not that big of a deal, but it is. Nice. It's not too heavy. I didn't do 2 chambers. I just did the one. I just did the chamber here and left this part solid, so then it just kind of falls more into your lap. Hey, 2 waterbed tellies, nice. Manny, how are you doing? Let me throw some Hank juice on here. I just got a new bottle of Hank juice. It just finished cutting. There we go. So there's the Turkish walnut. Maybe a parlor guitar after that. Nice. But Bumstead finished his acoustic today. Things are getting done around here. I still have to bevel this so that it has the flamed maple outline on it. But this one is looking nice. It kind of has that same kind of look as that eucalyptus that you did on that Strat, Manny. There, that camera does it justice. Nice. That's a nice top. I like it when it has that kind of like it has the flame and stuff, but it also just has an interesting kind of grain pattern as well. Nice and golden. So Manny says it looks like a lion. Karen says it's an owl. Once the hardware is on. Yeah, it's got there's some interesting shapes in there for sure. And then I'm going to do a Cocobolo fingerboard. This one's very I don't know what the word would be. Just woody. It's very woody. So the Cocobolo is kind of orange. I think I'm going to go with the Cocobolo. It's either that or ebony. Yeah, dark. I'm going to go dark because the neck is going to be flame maple. So it's going to have that flame maple outline around it. dark fingerboard, light neck, light headstock. So the neck is going to be this wood. I could do a light fingerboard as well, but I think I'll do a dark one. So it kind of all ties together. And then it's a black walnut body, but it's either that or an ebony fingerboard as well. But I'm kind of leaning towards the Cocobolo just because the Cocobolo has kind of interesting just kind of lines to it. Hopefully it's not too orange. Cocobolo will darken. Right now it looks very dark, but when I sand this, it'll probably be kind of orange with like black streaks. Cocobolo is really nice if you can get it. The best stuff, if you guys have ever seen like a really nice Cocobolo top with the sapwood in it. So it has like this yellow sapwood. And here, I'll see if I can find a... Yeah, it's just oxidized. Yeah, I think the dark... I didn't want to go too dark. I like, not... Ebony would look fine, but I kind of want to keep it more like dark brown rather than black. But let's see. Let's see. And I didn't want rosewood. I have some dark rosewood, but I don't want those purple, the purple hues in it. Yeah, the streaked ebony. This is actually just a really nice jet black. I think it's just too jet black. Like I was originally going to use this, but I think I should save this for another one where it's like I need something just really nice black ebony, which is strange. It's rare that you get a perfect piece of ebony like this. This is actually a really nice piece of ebony. It's black. It's absolutely like all the way through. No streaks. That's strange. Rarely do you find that these days. Anyway, I should save that for something else. This one will get Cocobolo. Plus it's kind of more exotic. More exotic with the Cocobolo. I think the Cocobolo will tie into the colors. It's very kind of golden brown. For those who like brown. You like cocoa? Let me find a Cocobolo top. I'll show you. I make two types of guitars, brown and light brown. Let's see. I used to work with Cocobolo a lot. I've turned a lot of Cocobolo when I was making clarinets. Yeah, here we go. Here's a good example. Here we go. Just give me a second. So there's Cocobolo with the sapwood in it. It's very figured. It's got like those black lines and then the orange. The orange will be more prominent when after I sand it. Yeah, it's really nice. It has nice gold. This guy putting the gold hardware on there worked really well. It looks really good. Hard to find. Of course, Karen would like the marshmallows, something she can burn. Do you like to burn your marshmallows, Karen? Anyway, hey Manny, what are you doing this weekend? I got Rage coming up, and we're going to be streaming for a couple days. Friday and Saturday we're going to be streaming. So we could also do the podcast while Rage is up here, and we can just chat. It can just like the same time. We'll just switch to the Luthier Uprising podcast, and then chat for a bit, and then get back to work. If you're down for that, Manny, you can. I know Rage wants to talk about Australian woods. You can't do it this weekend, doing family stuff. Okay, we'll do the Australian wood podcast eventually. Soon. It'll happen soon. Yeah. That's okay. We'll just be streaming a telly build. I don't know if we'll get it done in that time, but so instead of doing a 24-hour build like Manny did, Rage is going to come up, and we're just going to go through all the steps in making a telly. Whether we get that done between the two of us, we'll probably get it pretty close. But like what Manny said, yeah, we can get it done in 24. We can't get it finished though. So Rage is going to come up. It'll be pretty casual between both of us. It'll be casual. I'll be working on stuff. He'll be doing, yeah. We'll be making messes. I don't know how it's going to roll. I think we'll probably get it done. We're also going to do it by hand. We're not going to use the CNC. Hey, Unwary Dead, how are you doing today? We're going to do it by hand with routers and such. We'll see. We'll see what Rage brings up. We'll see what he brings up. I don't know if I would want to. I think doing a telly is CNC will take me a week. Well, that's the thing, is my process is like, I don't like to rush it. That's why I'm like, I'll do just a standard telly as opposed to mine, because it's like I do all these laminates, the hollow bodies and stuff like that. I do a lot more things. That bevel needs to be sanded. I don't know if I don't know if I could do one of mine in a day. Maybe if I simplified it and just did a one piece body. We'll see. I still have 2 days to figure it out. Nice. Your recovery is moving along. That's good to hear, Unwary. It's all about the sanding. Yeah, like when do I get time to sand? Actually, that's what I should be doing right now. I have to pour fill the other one. I just pulled this one off the CNC. So the process for this, because you guys, I don't know if you see what I do, is so I have a laminate, 2 laminates on here. So first I take the billet of wood and I route the chamber. I do that with a template, and I route the chamber. This one, because it's walnut, it was already, I knew taking out one side would be light enough. So on the mahogany, I did 2 strips, and then if I need more, I'll take more off here. But this one, I just did one strip. I hadn't cut out the body. I just did the chamber. Hey, Rock and Raj, how are you doing today? Then I joined the 2 pieces of the top, and then I sanded them to thickness. I don't sand to thickness while they're glued together. I learned that it's better to sand them to the thickness that you want, then laminate them together. So then I laminated those together. Then I cut the F-hole. Then I stuck it onto the billet with the chamber cut. Then I cut it out. So there was like a lot more steps doing this than doing just a regular top. It's still a 1/4 inch top. So each one of those strips is 1/8 of an inch, or about 3 millimeters. So it's even. You can see the F-hole got that nice. This is a flamed maple strip there. Yeah, I'm learning stuff. This is repetition of process is really important, and I'm getting better at doing the process that gets the best results, and then repeat. And with guitar building, it's all about repetition. Repetition of the process makes you more confident and less chance something will go wrong, because there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than ruining a nice piece of wood. So like, the more you do it, the more confident you are, and then you can start working with really nice wood and not mess it up, you know? That's why when you're starting out, okay, well, we'll catch you later, but Bumstead, good work on that guitar. That's why it's good to just use salvage wood for your first few builds, like what Bumstead did. Manny, you salvaged your first build, because then you're not financially invested in it. I kind of dissuade people from getting like a really fancy top like this for their first build. Like, yeah, it'll look nice, but your neck probably won't line up right. Yeah, salvage is always good. It's just, nothing is worse than when you're just learning, you buy a bunch of expensive wood, then you screw it up. And it's like, well, you could have bought some decent wood or salvaged some nice wood and just learned the process. And then you're not risking potentially a nice guitar, you know? So even this one, I had a bit of a thing right here, but that was my mistake. I caught it in time, but yeah. What else? Anyway, this still needs a lot of work. I still need to bevel the sides. First, before I bevel, well, that's the thing, Manny, is it's when you're confident with your building, then you can get more excited about just working with the wood and not being like, oh, what if I screw that up? It would have really sucked. Man, working on that burl top, I was nervous. I was like double checking everything. When I was finally out of the machining part of this build, I was so relieved. I was just like, oh, if anything had gone wrong with this, I would have been very, very sad. Now I'm just sanding. Now I get to just pour, fill, and sand. Now it's just fun. But this one I still need to bevel. Before I bevel it, I make sure the shape is all good first. the shape on the sides. Anyway, that's what I'm doing, is just prepping this. Prepping this for, I'm just getting, I did an epoxy fill that worked somewhat. It worked a little bit. But didn't work as well as I had hoped. So I have to do something else. So now I have to sand it all back. But it did fill some of it. Be building the Pank guitar. Everybody wants a Pank guitar now. I did have to go to, I went to Canadian Tire today to get some wet sandpaper, and I checked out the paint section to see what they had in pink. And they had some nice pink colors there. I should probably always have a pink guitar on the go. So once, I'm just using 120 right now. I'm going to get these sides really nice and smooth because I decided, get out the shellac. Yeah. I'm going pour fill with egg white. I'm going to go old school. I'm going to do an egg white pour fill. Because Padauk is very, very porous. And I've had good results with it in the past. I know how to use it. But this one is going to get gloss, so I have to make it. It will go to 12K. This I'm going to make shiny. Pepper white and pink. She had a pink top and pink headlights. That's ridiculous, Karen. Sounds like you need a guitar to go with that car. This one will be going to 12K. Because I want it shiny. I want this one to be super shiny. I figured out, finally figured out my headstock decal. So everything, and I ordered my my plates. I can show you guys what my plates, the neck plates look like as well, because I'm doing the curved neck plates. But I got them engraved. Let me see what I got here. I've been doing a lot of stuff. A lot of graphic stuff. Yeah, here we go. Let's see, window capture. There we go. So that's going to be the logo on the plate. So everyone will know. So it's a curved plate. I'll show you what they look like. So they're not the standard. These are like the I guess they call them the custom or the contoured plates. So it looks like that for my neck. So you can see right here. That's how that's going. Yeah. They make life a little bit easier. I had been doing the ferrules, which I like the ferrules, but man, it's a lot of work installing those ferrules. I think the plate is a really good brand, a way to brand it. Now that I have now that I'm like a real luthier, people are like, well, why, if you're like a real luthier, Hank, how come your guitars aren't properly branded with logos and stuff? And it's like, because I've been too busy building guitars to sit around coming up with logos of my name. So anyway, I finally did it. So anyway, I'm pretty happy. Last night I did that Hank Budd guitars. That's an old cattle branding font. So I'm kind of stoked about that. I think that'll look good. Yeah, one step at a time. Well, I know a lot of guys, they already have their logos designed before they build their first guitars. And it's like, if you already have a logo before you built your guitar, you're going the wrong way. You gotta build the guitar first. Build the guitar first, man. Everything else will fall into place after that. Because building guitars is the hard part. I did all the hard stuff first. We need logos, just a sign. Yeah. I like that signed headstock. Nice. I like your signed headstock, Manny. I think that works really well. Especially with the... when you do the 3x3, looks really classy. I was thinking about doing something like that, but I couldn't replicate something that I liked. So I'll do the water slide decal. But branding is important. It's not like it's not important. It's just like I literally have not given any time to it. Yeah, burn it, Karen. Burn that logo. Maybe I can wrap that up. Actually, while Rage is here building the telly, I might just wrap up all the things I need to do, because I can get this ready to be sprayed. So if I can get this ready to be sprayed for tomorrow, or I can start spraying it on Friday, I can spray it Friday, Saturday, then I can start wet sanding it on Monday. But spraying doesn't take long. But I have to wait once I do it. So I got to get Karen's thing done. Actually, I'll just get Karen's done so Rage can take it down to the States with him and ship it out from the States. That'll be easy. So Karen, your body will be going out this weekend with Rage. I'll send it down with Rage. Yeah, I'll do that. So if I actually work real hard today and tomorrow, I can probably have my bodies prepped. I might even be able to get this one prepped as well. So then I don't have to worry about it. And then I just carve, all I'll have to do is carve the neck on this one. Yeah, I could have both these. I'm still waiting for the engraved plates and for the water slide decals. I haven't even ordered those yet. So there's no rush on that, but I need to get Karen's guitar out, and I need to get Rhino's baritone finished as well. So it's kind of like Friday and Saturday those are kind of the things I need to do. Nobody's going to be in the shop those days either, so it'll just be me and Rage. So it'll be good. No classes this weekend. Just time. Yeah, no messing around. Well, we do have to build a telly. It takes a Canadian and an American to do a job that one Australian can do in 24 hours. But it'll be good. I think that's a real... Yeah, I talked to him yesterday, and I was like, if you're not feeling up to it, don't come up, because we're going to be working. Like, we won't be working too hard, but we're going to be doing some days in the shop, right? So, but he was like, no, he's coming up here and wants to do the thing. So it'll be good. It'll be good. I'm going to set up the shop. It'll be easier for me. Instead of setting up cameras all over the shop, I'm just going to set us up. I'm actually just going to bring the big table right here, and we have 2 vices. We can set a couple cameras up, and we'll be good to go. So it should all work. It shouldn't not work. But no pressure. But I do have to wrap things up. I think it's just a big push. Today I was feeling it just because I have so much coming down the pipe right now with everything I'm trying to do. But once I get it all the infrastructure in place, then I can just go back to focusing on building and things. But it's just a bit of a squeeze right now getting all the other things up and going. Then, once all this infrastructure is set up, then I can focus on promoting. Nothing changes. I keep building guitars. Like, that stays the same. But then I have to start bringing in musicians to demo my guitars. I'm just getting some equipment together. Jaime is in Mexico right now for a wedding, so I can't put him to work, but in 2 weeks when he gets back, we're going to kind of have a crunch here getting everything set up. He's got to finish one more guitar before the end of the month, or before the end of June. So we're doing an open house here in June 25th. I might live stream it. We'll see. So we're going to have our first kind of post-COVID public event, which should be interesting. So I need to have everything set up for that. These are my showcase guitars, and I have all my other ones, but this one and this one, these are the 2. I'm out of the prototyping phase. These 2 are going to be my showcase guitars under the new Hank Budd brand. These are going to be like the high-end versions, which I don't even know if Hank Budd guitars will do entry-level guitars anymore. Why should I even build guitars if I'm not getting at least 20,000 per guitar? Here's the thing. I crunched the numbers because I'm doing marketing now. I've been crunching the numbers. And it's way more profitable for me to build guitars and sell them for $20,000 than what I was doing previously. You see? So that's my new model. High-end luxury guitars for the discerning market. That will also coincide with my new designer clothing brand, Hunk Couture. Maybe you've heard of it. It was all the talk at the Paris runway. I just got back from Milan. The other last night I was doing a fashion show there. The Italians went nuts for trucker hats. The aprons, trucker hats, the whole thing. Yeah. Franck? Honk and Franck? Yes, I met Franck in Milan. It's rugged, it's dangerous, it's honk. Street fashion, streetwear for the 21st century. Yeah, you're not, it's so exclusive. Don't worry. If all goes well, my online store should be, yeah, soon. Soon. I'm trying to get my e-commerce site up and running. It won't have the guitars yet, but it was really good doing the merch, because I learned how to do that. So once I get my merch store up, I'm like, oh, okay, this is how I set it up. Then I can set up the guitar section and be like, okay, this is how you order a guitar from me. And have a payment processor kind of thing. So it just seems, more legit. The guitars are fine. That's one thing I don't have to worry about. And so everything else is just a lot of work. I got the online store set up, but I have to calculate all the shipping for every individual item and how much it will cost to ship each one. And so it's just lots of number crunching, data entry stuff like that. This region, the flat rate shipping is this much. For this region, I have to do that for each individual thing. And that's why it's a lot easier to just do the plug and play stuff that's just connected to Streamlabs. That's what most people do. And it works. It works for just, hats, t-shirts, toques. Oh, by the way, Manny, I think Megan ordered some Guitar Show Australia swag the other day. She said she was going to order some swag, and I was like, well, get me a cap while you're at it. So we'll see. But we're right into summer now, so it's I don't need a toque right now. But anyway. The Buick Enclave in the shop, third time within 25K. Oh, weird. Oh man, that sucks. That sucks, Raj. It's one thing after another. Yeah. Yeah, Megan liked the green Guitar Show Oz toque. She's like, I'm ordering stuff. She's stuck. She's in Sarnia right now. She's working night shifts, so it's she's got time and money to burn. Time to buy some swag. It's getting chilly in the morning walks. Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit warmer now. Here. No. Oh, I need to get. That's another thing. Is I did get beanies for my merch. I needed trucker hats. I also got a bunch of other stuff that's ridiculous. I'm not giving it away yet, but I'm putting in all this extra work, because most people it's just t-shirts, mugs, caps, things like that. But I'm putting in all this extra work just for the lulls, just for the laugh of like some of the things. You guys just wait. Hopefully it's up on Friday. You guys can order all this amazing merch for yourself. But it's good. It's good to learn that stuff. One of the things, Manny, actually, this is really interesting, and this is something I've been looking at. I don't know if we don't have access to this in Canada yet, and I don't know. Hey, Bacon Natarka, thank you for that follow. Bacon Natarka, Baconator car. I didn't get that right, but thank you for the follow. Are new payment systems coming online that can do payment plans. And so one that is only you can use in the States right now. It should come online in Canada soon. Maybe they'll get it in Australia as well. But it's called PayBright, and it allows you to set up a payment plan for customers who are like, hey, I really want a guitar, but I don't want to drop that much money all at once. No problem. You can do a PayBright thing, but it pays you the entire amount. Yeah, like layaway, but it pays you the entire amount. Then they are on the hook with PayBright with the interest to pay it. But you as a builder will get all the money up front. They get the interest, whatever you set up. But you can it's like a mini loan system. So if you're like, I want a Hank Bud, but I only want to pay $50 a month for it. It's like, great, sign a 5-year, plan on this thing, but it's like I still get the money up front. So you have to do a lot of credit checks and stuff like that first. More debt for people, yeah, but it's no different than a guitar shop. Like if you go into a guitar shop, you can always, they know musicians don't got the money. 10 years to pay off a Hank, yeah. But it's like you can do that at a guitar shop, and lots of musicians do that, obviously. And it'll take them years to pay off that Squire. But that's an option as well, because people have asked if I do payment plans. I can't do a payment plan because I need a certain amount up front, right? In order to make it worth my while, right? So it's kind of like, if you do want to do a payment plan, we can go through a third party and do it, but I can't do a payment plan personally, That's how you get them, Manny. Debt. In debt to Hank. I got a big plan. It's basically how centralized banking works, except with guitars. Here's what I do. So, I get someone on the hook. They really want one of my guitars, right? And then they're like, hey, I really want your guitar. And I'm like, sign this. Then the interest starts accumulating. They're like, Hank, I can't pay off that loan. And I'm like, that's fine. You can just sign over some assets to me. Boom. I get their house. I get their cars. I get everything. Their dog, everything. All because they were foolish enough to buy one of my guitars on my payment plan. That's how I get them. It all starts with the guitar. Entice them. Pay you in Hanks for Hank? Someday, Alex, I have a plan for that. How are you doing, Alex? I have a plan. One day, my Hank system people will buy my guitars by watching me build them, and then they'll pay me in my own currency for them. which I can then use to live. I got a plan. Someday Hanks will be valuable enough that you can buy my own guitars with them. If you can't pay for a guitar, you won't sell it to you. You are working on your business model, and in your area, there's a benefit to hold on to the build, the collection. Then you'll sell from the collection from the right buyers. Yeah. If you can hold on to it, then it's fine. It's just waiting. Yeah. Yeah, you're basically just building up stock at that point, because that's how it is. Like, sometimes it takes a few months, sometimes a few years, but the build, when you're doing on spec is always tricky. Commission is the best, but if you are building on spec, just add it to the collection then. You can hold on to them, yeah. No, you can only burn the ukes, Alex. You can only burn the ukes. They only have one purpose. Yeah, well, that's what I was... with a few of my guitars, which are kind of promoting from a collection is gaining more interest. That's interesting. So here in our shop, things are kind of going through a transition this fall. And so me and Jaime are trying to figure out what we can do here. We have a gallery room that's not being used. And we were like, oh man, that should be a rehearsal space gallery for the guitars and stuff. Like just having a place to show the collection. But that's a good idea, just have them as a collection. The Honk collection. When we set this place up, unfortunately, we were never able to have the gallery room as a gallery because nobody was allowed in. But now, we might be able to start utilizing this space as it was intended. But we'll see. Henk and Frank. Honk and Frank. Well, we are going to have the open house, and I have a decent amount of guitars to show, which is pretty good. But a lot of them, like I said, is these two are properly branded. They don't feel like prototypes. A lot of my other guitars were kind of like working out ideas. They're all really good instruments. There's nothing wrong with them, but I was kind of working out ideas. So it's kind of like they may not be as on brand as they're kind of just one-off art pieces, which actually kind of works. Like these two, I put them up for sale. People are like interested, but then they're also kind of like not. They'll check them out. People actually seem more interested in our classes, building their own telly. You have 7 or 8 guitars in stock. Nice. Yes, treat them as art. You know what else is interesting, Manny? That I saw some other builders do that I thought was a great idea. Hey, Gadalogic, how are you doing? So you build, to make it an art piece, you actually build the display for it. And that is included with the guitar, is you get a really nice thing that it goes in that you can mount on your wall or on, like it comes with a piece to be displayed. I think that's a really good idea if it's like an art piece, or treat it like art. Why would you want to make your own? You don't have to make your own. You just let me. You leave the guitar building to me. I'm a professional. I just don't want anyone getting hurt. Don't let her in. She'll burn it down. And then you can collect the insurance money and your scheme will be complete. Punk rock guitars for 30 years here. He loves the collection, but then people ask, can you paint it red and lacquer it? Yeah. Well, they always, it's just, it's what people want, It's 70% of the guitar market wants shiny colors. 30% like the wood. I'm not saying those numbers are exactly right, but it's like, I know a lot of people just like shiny colors. That's why I'm doing this one. It's wood, but it also has shiny colors. It'll be shiny and have colors. Yeah. Karen will be in the front row. It'd be a real shame if the place burned to the ground. Hot rails onto your Hondo? Nice. I don't say that that's a bad idea at all. I'm not going to tell you how to party. Well, that's the thing, Manny, and that's what I feel like our streams, a big part of what our streams are for is to kind of educate the people on the options of what they can get, because a lot of people you never see boutique guitars in the guitar show. You never see people play them. So you're just like, well, of course, they just come in different colors and they're shiny, Awareness, yeah. 3% want bass boat paint. I can facilitate that market. Yeah, awareness is key. I think, yeah, that's why I'm like, when I'm doing my website now. Yeah, just a minute. Well, that's the thing, and that's another thing, Manny, is a lot of times it's very personal when somebody wants to buy a guitar. It's like, I want to buy your guitar, and just meeting people is sometimes just enough for them to be like, hey, I want your guitar. The stream is just a great way to meet, hundreds of people a week, and just be like, oh, that guy builds guitars. Maybe, here's the thing, is like, there might be somebody who sees your stream and then maybe 5 years later, they're like, it's time, I'm going to get that guitar. Like, who knows what the seeds that are being planted right now, Guitars are black, 70s, sunburst, and red. I agree. Look at this ugly guitar I'm making right now. I'm pore filling it so I can just paint it over. Just so that someday somebody might sand it back and discover this. That's my art piece, is I get fancy burl tops, just paint them black. Nobody will ever know it's a joke. I find it funny. Yeah. Yeah, they know. That's another thing. Like there's a lot of players who can barely change their own strings, like it's education is key. Education is key. That's why here at Honk Apparel, I don't build guitars, I build lifestyle accessories. These are high-end lifestyle accessories. I sell I don't sell an instrument, man. I sell a way of being. I'm going to start doing ads like that. That's what I need to start doing, is just me talking like that. Kind of like just high-end perfume ads. You know, when like those like Ralph Lauren like kind of ads or whatever with the perfume where it just has like Brad Pitt rambling on about nothing. Like a man stares at the ocean and he finds peace out there, but he's just standing in the sand. Where will he go next? You know, like just nonsense things like that. That's what I'm going to start doing, is just like complete nonsense, high fashion advertisements for my guitars. If it's more confusing to the audience, it'll be more enticing, because they'll be like, wow, it must be good. I don't even understand. Or just more Canadian spruce. We got a lot of Canadian spruce coming up. Yeah, it'll never be found unless it starts to chip out. Guitars and purses. Well, that's the thing. If I need to make my guitar a purse, I will make it a purse. I don't care. Lifestyle enhancer. Yes. Lifestyle enhancers. Nifty has all the best ideas. Do you need a lifestyle enhancer? Do you find the thrill in life is gone? Well, maybe you need to spark that back up with a Mellows Custom. Handbags. Yeah. Look here, Manny. This whole guitar thing, it was a good run, but we both know the future is in handbags. Mellows handbags and makeup accessories. Electric burl top parlor guitar for your living room. Oh, why, yes, it is Wi-Fi compatible. I don't know how, but it will be. That's another thing. It has to connect to all your smart devices, and you have to really... Hank's Handbags does have a nice ring. Do you guys remember when I found the Hank Manny, did I show you the Hank handbag? Let me show you something. This is real. I found this. I saved it just because it was amazing. The Hank purse. Look at this. This was real. This I found on a custom... Here, let me... Look at that. I found a Russian designer was making these. You can get these in Russia. So in Russia, everyone carries bags, Hank bags in Russia. You guys just don't see it because you don't go to Russia. But if you did, you'd be like, why is everybody walking around with Hank bags? Because they're the hottest thing there is. You can never... I don't even know how I found this thing, but I found it. Like, It exists. If you can imagine something and you spend a bit of time searching, you will find exactly what you need. Yeah. Anyway, I can give you a link. Maybe I will start selling these on my merch as well. $100 from Russia to get one of those. Big in North Korea. I'm huge in North Korea. Second most popular man in North Korea. Anyway, you can see I was already beaten to the punch. Somebody already saw the future and they jumped on it. So, you're putting that on your birthday list? I'll send you the link. I'm pretty sure I saved it. I'll post it. I'll post in the Discord for anybody who wants it. But wait, save your money for the store launch. This hopefully this week, soon. You'll sell Manny versions that say "Cheers, big ears" when you squeeze them. I would buy that. I would definitely buy that. Ah, the guitar case. See, Nifty, that is why Nifty is the president of sales for the Pacific region of Hank Budd Guitars. That is why. Let me throw you a bonus there, Nifty. I gotta pay Nifty for these great ideas. Hank Head guitar cases. That's right. You get 500 Hanks for that. You just got a 500 Hank bonus right there because that is a good idea. A case for a short scale or a uke. Yeah, it could actually be. Just the bottom would be the head. Where do you send your deposit? Yeah. A Hank Budd classic in it. Awesome. Exactly. Look, all the best ideas are in chat. I don't even have to come up with my own amazing ideas. I can just listen to what the people are demanding. You see that, Manny? Here's the thing, man. You got to listen to what your customers are telling you what they want. This is what they want. You got to give them what they want. Yeah, they're black and boring. Those soft cases are no good. Aren't you tired? That can be the ad. Aren't you tired of those boring black canvas guitar cases? Wouldn't you be happy carrying around the head of your favorite streamer with your guitar in it? Can't afford a Hank Budd guitar? Get the case and everyone will think you already have one. And then you tell them what they want. Manny is now the second most popular man in North Korea. Tari, how are you doing today? Oh, it's because as I sand it, there's more detail comes out of it. Keeps getting nicer and nicer. Just wait till it's shiny. Everyone likes shiny. Yeah. Whoa, you go to the party and everyone's like, hey, pull out your Hank Budd. And then it's just a boring Gibson. Aren't you tired of Gibson guitars? It's the same guitar since 1954. It's 2023. It's the 21st century, and it's time to play music like it is. Hank Bud Guitars. Guitars for the 21st century. All the detail will be on the floor. Guys, bad news. I love this top so much, I sanded it all away. It'll just be a blue dust, and it'll be like one of those Tibetan dust paintings where they make the dust sculpture out of all the colored dust, and then it just gets swept away as soon as it's finished. That's what this top will be. Iowa. Yeah. Overloved the guitar build, and now there's nothing. Yeah. That's the danger. That's the danger. You can't love your builds too much. If you love them too much, you have to let them go. You know? You can't love them too much. Your love could destroy them. If you really love your build, you have to let it go out into the world. Manny is hoarding all of the Mellows customs. He's hoarding them in one collection. Hey, Lulu, thank you for that follow. Let me tell you about Manny. He's not letting the Mellows out into the world. You got to go and demand your Mellows from Manny. He's keeping them all. He's keeping them all for himself. You saw two monks do that in Sydney? Yeah, it is amazing to watch that. I like to see myself as kind of in that tradition. Let it go, don't... No guitar for you. Please, Mr. Mellows, I would like a guitar. No. That's what I was threatening to do to Tari, is build Tari's dream guitar and then just put it on my wall, just so he could never have it. See this guitar? I'm not selling this guitar. I'm just going to put it on the wall. All for me. You can look at it, but don't look too hard. Because it's mine. I don't need to eat anymore, in that I don't need to buy food anymore. I found the perfect combination of wood dust nutrient mush can sustain me. So I'm fine now. Little bit of walnut, little bit of maple, little bit of spruce, and then to spice it up, some Spanish cedar. Boom. You got luthier gruel that can sustain you while you work. Yeah, no guitar for you. PVA porridge, yeah. You just mix it with a little bit of hide glue, get your protein, you're good to go. You can fry it up as like pancakes with a little bit of true oil. That's what's going to happen, Tari. That's what's going to happen to you. One day. Soon. Soon, everyone's going to get what's coming to them. Soon. The problem with beveling is you have to sand all the bevels. All of them. Lot of sanding. Yeah. So, speaking of amps, eventually, soon, it goes into the soon category, but I really want to do an amp collaboration with Hemel. Eventually, I know Hemel just started streaming, he's just putting his stuff together, but oh, actually, that's another thing, Manny, that I was thinking of as more kind of value added for pieces is I want to do matching amps with the guitars, so the amps are the same wood as the guitar, so you have a matching amp with it. That's a good kind of collection thing. I was thinking about, which is cool, but then if it's like a custom amp with the custom guitar, someday. But me and Hemel were talking about that. Not right now. You're stealing the PRS idea? No, it'll be better. It'll be better. But it is a good idea. It's a really good idea. Let me tell you something. I'm not competing with other boutique builders. I'm competing with PRS Custom Shop. That's who I compete with. Willie, what's going on? Yeah. I have some ideas. So many things to do. I know I talk a lot of encased in walnut. Well, that's the thing. I like black walnut would look really nice as an amp case. I can make a box. I can make a real nice box. You just got home? How are the fish? The Hank Budd Wood Library. Welcome to my wood library. Some people call it the forest. I call it my wood library. So I got so many things I got to do, and it's good. It's good. The motivation of getting things done right now is so I can move on to other bigger projects. Now that I feel like my prototyping is done on these ones, I have two new shapes that I want to do. I should probably sell some guitars before I start prototyping new ones. But get all that stuff set up, then move on into other things. So much sanding. I never should have epoxy filled this. The private stocks, yeah. This is the private stock. Well, you gotta brand it somehow. PRS, their branding works. They've created a very a very successful perception of their brand. Honestly, even though my guitars kind of look like PRSs, I'm not a fan of PRS guitars. I don't think they're bad guitars, but I'm just not a fan. More of a Sir guy myself. Yeah, you got to make them feel exclusive. I'm going to have to start doing exclusivity. Um, yeah, do an affordable line. Well, and that's the thing. I would never, I would never knock PRS for what, you know, for what they accomplished. But it's hard. It's the same way PRS has the same problem that Gibson and Fender do. You get locked into a time. When you're successful like that, you can be punished for deviating. So, like, I find PRS guitars are very 80s, 90s. To me, they're very early 90s looking aesthetic, which isn't a bad aesthetic, but it's very 90s looking to me, which isn't bad. But it's in the same way that Gibson is very 50s looking and Fender is very 60s looking, you know? You get locked into that time period, and then that's all people want. They want that same guitar, right? And so it kind of just is more about sustaining, you know, like, but if you have a guitar shape that works, then by all means, milk it. But it's kind of, it just gets locked in. You just get locked into that time and space. And I think that's why I'm not really into the PRS, because it's like I'm not really nostalgic for the 90s. Because the stuff before I was born, the 50s and 60s stuff, that has a certain mystique because it's, you know, I wasn't there. So it only exists in like kind of media. But I remember the 90s, and it's like, you know, the PRS, like, I get why it was popular at the time, but it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not nostalgic for it. You played Mary Had a Little Lamb on the Pank? Nice! That's awesome. That's awesome, Willie. I'm glad you're enjoying the Pank guitar. I'm talking about the Les Paul. You're the only one that when you say Gibson, you think of an SG. Everyone else, when you say Gibson, thinks of a Les Paul Tari. Yeah, that's maintaining the quality as their production moved overseas. That's one thing, is PRS are made in America, except now PRS is doing their SE models, which are made in China. But they're still retailing for about $1,000. And I wasn't too impressed with their SEs. You know, like they still look like a PRS, but if that's the future of PRS, is outsourcing to China like Fender did, and and it could happen that they won't be able to maintain that, so it's kind of, I don't know. It's like Fender and Gibson had to go through that transition as they outsourced. Lucky for Fender, they maintained their Mexican factory. Yeah. You have a friend that only plays an SG? Oh, it's Indonesia. Yeah. It's wrong. It's Indonesia, which has a slightly better reputation to a certain degree. There are some, it depends on the factory. There's good Indonesian factories, there's good Chinese factories. But it's also a sign of the times. If PRS is outsourcing to Asia, that's a sign of the times, Built by Cort. I was just watching the Cort factory video the other day. They pump out like 1 million guitars. It's insane. I was just checking out different factory setups. I watched the Cort factory, which they do all the Squires, I believe, as well. And then I watched the Dean custom shop. Yeah, there's some very good Korean factories. World Music, yeah. Yeah, if you can get into world music, if I was ever to outsource my stuff, I would definitely try and get into world music, but they don't let just anyone in there. But I think that that's a mistake. Honestly, I think that those companies should have invested in modern machinery and brought their manufacturing back, or expanded their American manufacturing. That's what I think they should have done. I don't think exporting or PRS should have just invested in technology in the States, which they already do CNC everything, but they should have simplified of course it's easy for me while I stand by and be like, oh, PRS should have done this. Like, I don't know the inner workings of the company, but it's like, it would have been better to come up with a new design, a PRS design that is easier to manufacture. That's the problem with PRS. It's not a simple guitar to manufacture. That's why it's so expensive. They should have come up with an entry-level, easier to manufacture PRS that they could make in North America. That's what they should have done. But nobody listens to me. Paul doesn't even return my phone calls. But that's what I would do. It's an engineering problem. It's not an economics problem. The engineering problems, or like, you should, with modern technology, be able to do the work of 50 people with one machine, I wouldn't outsource to a foreign country. I would try and build the things here in Canada if I could. Easier said than done. The government in Canada does subsidize homegrown manufacturing to a certain degree, but you don't want to be dependent on grants and tax subsidies, because sometimes the government changes and boom, that's, if you base your business model on government subsidies and then they decide to cut those in the next budget, you're kind of hooped. And that's what happens in Canada a lot, is a regime will get in and be like, we're bringing manufacturing back to Canada. and they'll subsidize and throw all this money around, and then 4 years later they cut it all, and none of it was really sustainable. So, but that's the thing. In Canada, here's what's ridiculous is all the fenders is all Canadian maple, and it's getting mass shipped to Asia to be turned into necks and then shipped to America and then re-exported into Canada. We don't have a big enough domestic market to have really our own guitar market, but we definitely have the raw materials. Yeah, their bottom necks, they did simplify the process, and that's why I don't see why they had to outsource them like they did, other than it shows that they don't have the technology or the engineering to do it here in North America. That's what it says to me. When they outsourced the SE, it was like, oh, you guys, like, what are you doing? You know? Because that's how it starts, man. That's how it starts. Hey, thanks, Megan. How are you doing today, Megan? First, they outsource the cheap models. Then they start outsourcing the mid-range models. And then all that's left is the custom shop. You know? Honestly, I don't believe, I know the economics of it, but there was no need to export as much industry out of North America that they did, other than they're greedy. It was just greed. It was economics was used to justify their greed. They could have kept manufacturing in North America. There's enough raw materials here that it would have balanced it out. But they're like, no, we don't want to pay wages anymore. Anyway, you guys will, Hankonomics. When I drop my manifesto, that'll be in there. Nice. Oh man, are you just starting work today, right now? Emmett is sleeping. We had a good day today. I gave him things to play with. The problem with Emmett is he's just bored. And so I got him a ball, which he's torn up now, but he was satisfied. And he's got that, what's that, Kong? One of those like toys where he has to get the food out of it. And now he's just chilling. He's just straight chilling. Anyway. Hank Bud Enterprises. When my ruthless corporation takes the world stage, no other guitar companies will survive. For Hank Bud Guitars to win, everyone else has to lose. No, I haven't received the toys yet. A bunch of stuff a couple days ago. I thought they would be there. No, I didn't receive any toys. I got the harness you sent and the all the other things, but I didn't get the toys. So many sticks. That's one thing. Emmett doesn't go after the guitars, which is really good. Emmett will not. If it's on a table, he knows he's not supposed to have it. If it's on the floor, he'll go after it. Nice. Emmett has destroyed all of his beds. Yeah. Okay, picture this. Here's my dream. Here's my dream. Here's my ideal factory. Rows upon rows of benches, hundreds of people, their heads down, nobody's talking, no machines, just the sounds of hundreds of hands sanding in unison. That's my factory. Just hundreds and hundreds of sanding, everybody just sanding. And I'm sanding too. I'm not even just walking around hitting them with like a whip. I'm sanding too. And we're all sanding together and they're sanding with me in perfect unison. We're one unit, one sanding unit. A sanding family, a sanding factory. People will be like, Mr. Honk, may I go home to my family now? And I'll be like, why would you want to go home? You're home now. And they're like, oh, my mistake. I'll just keep sanding. And they'll just keep sanding till they forget their family, till they forget everything. And then they'll finally be free. Because that's what Hank Bud factories are. Freedom. Freedom from all the stresses in your life. You don't have to worry anymore. You can just sand. Sand yourself free, everybody. Half a factory, half a religion, combined into one super economic powerhouse. That's what you do. Forget corporations and government corruption. The future, factory cults. That's going to be in my manifesto. Factory cults. Get people productive. Get people into what they're doing. Everybody else is working for money. These people will be working for a higher power. Yeah. Yeah. You guys just don't realize my dream. You'll all be sanding in one of my factories eventually. The sanding economy. Yeah. The sanding retreat oasis. Actually, that's the one thing. Guaranteed, it'll solve your problems. Let me tell you something. You won't be cures all addictions. You can't be doing heroin when you're sanding. You know? Health retreats. Get clean. Sand it all away. Celebrities will pay thousands and thousands of dollars to come to my retreats to solve their celebrity problems. Just another sanding cult. All those suckers like Ram Dass from the 60s, all those guys, they all thought meditation and acid would get enlightenment. They were wrong. It's time to start sanding. Yeah, the Hank head, there'll be a Hank head. Statues everywhere. It should be on an island, probably. Yeah. If that sandpaper isn't completely worn. Sanding cults. Did you guys see that documentary Wild Wild Country with Osho? Where that guy, that East Indian guru started that cult and moved to Portland. Not Portland, Oregon. Moved to Oregon and started his cult town there, and then things just got wacky. Very interesting documentary. Anyway, I found it very inspiring. The Hank Head blankets. Oh man. You just wait, Nifty. There's going to be something in my merch store that ties into what you just said. Wait and see. Wait and see. Hopefully this Friday I'll get it launched. Yeah. Yeah, if they get the shakes, they can sand. Even if you're like in horrible withdrawal, you can always sand. It's the perfect remedy. This guitar has to be perfect. It just does. Some of you ask, why does it have to be perfect? Because it has to be. Because it already is perfect. I just have to reveal how perfect it is through sanding. The perfection's there, just like in all of you. And once you're worn down enough, you'll finally be perfect. Join me and sand along. The rebels will demand 12K. Well, that'll be the rival cult will be the Mellows 12K. You know, we'll all have our sanding cults. It's all turning into a sanding cult at this point. Oh, I'm going to look into that, Nifty. Hank Garden Gnomes. That's another brilliant idea that I haven't yet figured out. How to monetize that. The more I monetize, the more all these products, somebody's going to buy these products. Somebody will want Hank Garden Gnomes. I'm going to look into that. Can you make custom garden? Let me see. I'm going to look that up right now. Let me see if that's a thing. Gabe Lackman's guitar builds. Maybe is he a YouTube builder? I've watched a lot of videos, but I'm no good with names. But how are you doing, Buck Tillman? Hey, Willie. Thank you for that gifted sub. Yeah. You'll put one out as a decoy. Let me see. I gotta see if I gotta see. Gabe Lackman's. Gabe Lackman. Let me see here. Custom lawn gnomes. Let's see if we can. Is there custom lawn gnomes? Can we get custom lawn? Custom garden gnomes. Yes, this is a thing. Custom personalized garden gnomes. Yes. Dollars to you. Okay. They're $100. But yes, I can make custom garden gnomes. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Forget guitars. Forget guitars. Forget them. Just 3D print them. Yeah, but they have to be. Oh, this is how I can make my own garden gnomes. I could make my own casts because you have to like they're just plaster, right? So I could make a 3D print. Yeah. I could totally 3D print my own stuff. I do have a 3D printer. And then I can just make the casts and pour them. Forget guitars. Now that I'm working on my merch store, I'm totally yeah. Oh, I already paid him some Hanks. Yeah. No, we're not going to have any of that, Tari. None of that. None of that. I already paid him. I pay him in Hanks. Yeah. Actually, the epoxy did fill a lot. A bauble bud. A bauble bud. Yes. Yes. I could make my own bobbleheads. So it's actually, now that I'm learning how to plug all that stuff into a website and stuff, it's like if you can find like some website that like makes the thing, then you can plug it into your e-commerce site, and it's fairly, it's not like super simple, but it's like you can totally do it. Just become a merchant. I'm way better at selling cheesy garbage than I am about beautiful guitars. I don't know why. I'm way better at coming up with like merch ideas. The guitars will just have to sell themselves. Some people will find it, some children will find it comforting, Tari. The Hank Bud Nightlight. Bauble buds of all the luthier uprising luthiers. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do, Megan. Yeah, we do. Collect them. Collectibles. Luthier collectibles. Yes. Yeah, I saw Huffschmidt. Huffschmidt makes his own resin plectrums that do pretty well. Because that's the thing is like, yeah, like it has to be a plectrum. The wood is too thin to do like a 1 mil guitar pick, but definitely if it's thicker, you could do a plectrum out of wood. Does anybody use plectrums to play? Who's buying all these plectrums? Hey Blaze, thank you for the follow. Alex does have the best ideas. I think Alex gave me a lot of really good ideas that I forgot and never implemented. Anyway, I'm going to launch my thing on Friday, like adding the HB logo to my hat. I got it. I have the stuff coming online, Alex, this Friday. I got hats. I got all the things. I got trucker hats. I got all the things. Finally. But, you know, it took a while. All the things are finally coming online. You guys just wait. Wait and see. Man, this epoxy. It's a real pain. But at least it filled the pores. A robot. I think I would rather build an AI talk bot with a virtual avatar that can just stream and sand when I'm not on, so that there's always a virtual avatar that people can sand along to. That's what they need. Rusty needs an espresso. Oh man, that reminds me, I never made an Emmett emote. That's what I forgot, Megan. I still don't have animated emotes, and I don't have an Emmett emote. I've been slacking, but also working, but also slacking at the same time. How can one work so hard and still feel like they're slacking off? You guys see me grind 4 times a week, just giving it my all. Just giving it my all. So close. So close. But still not close enough. Actually, it's going to be kind of a pain to get in around there. That's a lot. I might have to take it back to the spindle sander for that one. Yeah. An Emmett animated emote? Yeah. An Emmett animated emote. Animated emote. Yeah. What is Emmett up to? I think he's still sleeping. Yeah. He's peacefully sleeping. I tuckered him out today. Because let me tell you about the problem. I was getting him physically tired, but then he was just really wired because his brain wasn't being worked, right? So he was getting tired, and then he was getting like frustrated. Whereas today, I took him out for the same hike we do, which is usually about an hour to an hour and a half hike, and then, but then I got him some toys to play with, and now he's just passed out. So it all works out. I can get things done today. The good news, I can get things done. Unlike those other days where nobody lets me get anything done. Anyway. I have to take off a little bit more here and there, and then I can do another round of pore filling, and then I can start spraying this. So I should be able to start spraying this hopefully by Friday. Should be good. Oh, Megan, are you still there? I cut out this guy today. This one, this is the Turkish walnut. For those who haven't seen it, oh, nice. Megan's. Oh, is that the Emmett? The custom Emmett plate? I think Emmett could handle one of those things. Yes, this came from Istanbul, which this is actually Turkish walnut from Turkey. I ordered it from Turkey. Just so I could say I've sampled all the walnuts. I've sampled all the walnuts in the world, but none so coveted as the Turkish variety. Look at that. There is the Turkish walnut. That camera doesn't do it justice. This camera, it's weird. Sometimes, hey Bosley, thank you for that follow. Sometimes this camera, it looks way better under this camera. I don't know why. Just gets the figure better. Yeah, so Tari, all English walnut or European walnut is actually Turkish walnut, but it actually all comes from Persia. But it's more common, modern times they call it Turkish walnut. All comes from there. So this is the same species as English walnut, but for some reason doesn't look the same. Probably due to climate conditions. So here I'll compare. So this is Turkish walnut from Turkey. And this is English walnut from British Columbia. This is local English walnut. So you can see, it's like, oh yeah, that is the same wood. But for some reason, the Turkish walnut, the reason they call it Turkish walnut or make a distinction for the Turkish variety is it tends to be more figured. There's all these more colors in it. It's you see it a lot in custom gun stock barrels, a lot. Not that this one is figured as well. Obviously, if I had a more figured one, it would also be interesting to look at. But this is kind of what Turkish walnut, the nice Turkish walnut tends to look like this. It's golden colored. It's got a lot of figure. It has a lot of interesting grain. The English walnut, usually when it's figured, tends to look, it can look more spectacular than this, but it tends to look like this. It has, I don't know if you can see it, it has a little bit of flame in there. It's got the dark figuring, but so it's like, it is the same wood, just two different continents. An edible hazelnut guitar, the Nutella. Actually, that's a really good name for a hazelnut guitar. I'm sure there is figured hazelnut. I've never seen hazelnut. Walnut is just way more common. Yeah, the grain's a little different. Again, figure is different, but for some reason, the Turkish walnut tends to just have really, really crazy figure. Yeah. Yeah, the breeding of show dogs has really messed up genetics. It's made a lot of dogs like permanently like kind of messed up. What happened to my cap? I don't know. Anyway, let me show you some let me see here. Some examples of more examples of Turkish walnut. It can sometimes even look a lot like Claro, like really highly figured Claro walnut. And that's another interesting thing. Claro walnut comes from California, again, where it's hotter and drier. So I don't know if it is possibly due to the hot, dry climate that you get the kind of interesting figuring on it, which could be. Let me find a good example. I'm just scrolling through right here, trying to find a really nice example of Turkish walnut. It all is very similar, like walnut is walnut, right? But here we go. too glossy. All the pictures I find are really glossy, so that it doesn't do it justice. Let me see here. Why? Here we go. Here is just an example of the figure in the wood. Oh, Pinterest, you are terrible. Okay, here we go. I found an example. I found a good example. Let me see. Okay, come on. It's annoying. I can't have my mouse plugged in because then I can't have my microphone because I only have... Okay. Okay, there we go. Finally. Okay. Here's examples of Turkish walnut and the kind of grain and figure you get in it. I'll just grow. Oh, a bunch of hazelnut trees just went down. That's the thing, is there is a lot of trees, a lot of hazelnut, and the reason there's so much walnut is because they were grown for nuts. So there's just a lot of walnut around. Macadamia. Yeah. Yeah, I need more USB outlets for sure. Anyway, here's an example of like Turkish walnut figure. And it's got really nice those black lines with the flame. I think what makes the Turkish walnut very appealing is that you get those black grain and you get all the figure you would. It just gives a really quilty look when you get those dark grain lines and you get that flame on figure on top. You get that in black walnut too. The nice thing with black walnut is you get the sapwood as well. But anyway, all the walnuts. I have now sampled all the walnuts in the world. This was the last one. I hadn't worked with Turkish walnut. I wanted to see what it was all about. It's a walnut for sure. It's basically English walnut, just highly figured. Yeah, so I can say I've sampled them all. English walnut, Turkish walnut, black walnut, Bastogne walnut, Claro walnut, Australian walnut, which isn't even a walnut. They just call it that for some reason. Anyway, this one I'm going to get going on this one as well very soon. Get this one ready to go. I'll probably be working on this one over the next week. I'm not going to really touch this one until I get the burl one ready to be sprayed, because then I'll need something to work on, because I'll spray that, have to let it sit for a while, let it cure. So I kind of need something to work on in the meantime. So this will be another showpiece. Another showpiece guitar. Where getting all my showpieces together. I just want to check. I haven't even checked Where is it? Why can't I find nothing? I can't not find nothing. There it is. Check and make sure the neck pocket is all good. Yep. Nice and tight. It's really tight. That's good. Okay. That one's actually tighter than the other one. That one. I'm going to have to cut a test neck. I changed my pocket a little bit, and I'm going to have to change a little bit of the neck profile with that, because I just wanted it. I felt like it was just needed a little bit of an adjustment. Spalted birch can also look nice. Yeah, spalted birch, poplar burl looks really good for cheap woods, cheap local woods. There's a lot of woods that kind of get overlooked. Specifically, poplar and birch are considered, you know, low-grade pulp woods, but they can work for guitars. I've seen it done. It's just, that's the thing when you kind of get into the, you know, like we're kind of talking about how most people don't really appreciate the natural woods, but in a way, when you get too elitist about your wood, then you can kind of disregard certain woods that are like, oh, totally usable, but it's like, oh no, I don't use birch. There's a builder in Quebec, manufacturer, and he uses birch because he only uses local woods, so it's maple and birch and walnut, you know. Yeah, you can use it for necks. Again, it's just like maple is so abundant that you'll just see maple a lot more, and it's far more figured. But birch is strong enough that you could do it. I've seen people do birch acoustic guitars, and they sound fine. You can also do oak. You never see oak, mostly because it's very heavy. But you can do an oak neck. It's just going to be real heavy and hard to carve, but you can. I think you could do birch if you had quarter sawn. I don't know how stable it is, but I would do it if it was quarter sawn just to be safe. That's the nice thing. That's the thing about maple is you can use it flat sawn and it doesn't matter. Whereas other woods, you kind of want to hedge your bets and make sure it's always quarter sawn. But you can get away with it. It just, who knows what will happen to it, but has an oak neck. Yeah. If you do it thin enough, it should be fine. It's just, it would be a real pain to carve, but so is wenge. It would be no worse carving an oak neck as it would be a wenge neck. So it's totally doable. There was something. Oh yes, I was talking to Tim the other day. He's probably played my guitar more than, he always wants to borrow it all the time because his guitars suck. And I was like, dude, you're just going to have to buy it eventually. Because he just uses it all the time. And he's like, but my guitars suck and they never stay in tune. Your guitar is always in tune and it never moves. So it's like, oh, that's good to know. Because I made that guitar with a walnut neck. It was nice quarter sawn walnut. A lot of people are surprised when they see it. They're like, "Oh, you have a walnut neck on there," because they think, "Oh, you can only use maple," you know. And it's like, "Oh, nothing else is strong enough." And it's like, "Yeah, you can for electric guitars, the tension is actually less than on an acoustic guitar, so you can get away with a lot more. But yeah, like a quarter sawn walnut neck is fine. I wouldn't do flat sawn walnut. Yeah, mahogany works. Mahogany is so nice to carve. But yeah, I used walnut on quite a few of my builds for the necks, and a year later, still no problems. If there were going to be neck problems, they would have shown up right away. The most troublesome neck that I made was actually a rosewood neck, Indian rosewood neck, which I thought that thing was just going to be solid. It's fine. It just it had to work itself out first, but that one moved the most out of any of my guitars. Was that? It looked really nice, and again, it's like, oh, I don't think rosewood would be any more heavy than oak. They're both pretty dense woods, so it was a solid body walnut guitar. So it wasn't too heavy, but I didn't have to worry about neck dive because of it. But Indian rosewood makes a really nice neck, but it would be so expensive to get that neck blank. That's kind of like, why would you do a rosewood neck? Feels really good. I don't know what kind of tonal properties it would have, but anyway, I think I'm going to shut down for the day. I'm going to have a nap and then get back to work. I had to get up early today, but I still have more things I have to do. I have to get some of those coats on before I go, so I'm going to shut down. But I'll be back on Friday. I gotta be in peak form for Friday, Saturday. Rage is coming up on Friday. NATO wood. What is NATO wood? There's also a lot of I don't know, most of I gotta be in tip-top shape for sure. But this is coming along. I'm happy about this guy. This guy's looking good. Why is this? I just don't know why this. Oh, I think that neck pocket, I know why that was so tight. It was tight because that thing, I was spraying finish on that thing, so it's covered in finish. I was like, why is that neck? Why is it so tight in there? This is good. That neck pocket fits. So this one, I'm not doing anything weird on this one. This one's is just getting standard 25.5-inch scale length. The only thing interesting about it is the wood. I'm not doing anything, any weird thing with this. This one's going to be super standard. Okay, Karen, Tari, Nifty. Wood from Mora trees. Interesting. Well, I think who's on right now? Let's see. I am fading. Who's on right now? Oh, Asus is on. Let's go check out Asus. let's raid into Asus. Everyone knows Asus. Let's keep that rolling. Okay. Megan, you have a good evening as well. I'm going to have to look into that Tari. I'm not familiar with that wood at all. But anyway, you guys get ready this Friday. 2 days of streaming, tele build, Rage Guitars in person. You're going to have Hank fatigue by the end of it. I promise you that. So we'll see you then. Bye for now.